Alright, what's up guys? JaretCampisi back at the track for another installment. Before we get into today's topic, first off, I just want to say thank you guys for all the comments and the likes and the views. I love interacting with all you guys and building a little community here around track and field, and it's just really great. I'm going to be doing more videos than just track and field videos for my OG subscribers. So, you know, what I did, since I have so many different things that I like to do, is I put playlists on my channel. So if you go to my actual channel and you scroll down, you'll see track and field playlists, you'll see lifting workout playlists, you'll see motorcycle stuff, you'll see product reviews. So I'm just gonna, as I put up different videos, put them into playlists so you guys can more easily find what you want. There's also a search function on my channel where you can search for different things. So always use that search function before you ask for videos, because I might have already made them. So all right, today's topic is gonna be 300-meter hurdles. I've been getting a lot of questions about this race, and we're gonna be talking about how to run the race correctly and basically how you can run your fastest times in the 300-meter hurdles. So if you're running the 300-meter hurdles and you wanna learn how to run them faster, stick around. So we're here at the start of the 300-meter hurdles. We don't have hurdles out yet, but we are gonna do a workout later, so stay tuned for that. As always, the workout that we do will be in the description below, so make sure you check that out. So the 300-meter hurdles is one of my personal favorite race. It's close to my heart because it was my best race in high school, track and field. You know, I won states twice in the event, and I kind of figured out my own way to run that helped me run really, really fast times. And so this one doesn't have like a set race plan like the 100, the 200, the 400. It's not like a go out hard, float kind of thing. It's more of a, it's based on your step pattern, okay? And I think a lot of people don't even understand that there is a step pattern in the race, okay? So, first off, with the start to the first hurdle, you wanna do that in practice at your race pace so you figure out what your steps are, okay? And basically, the 300-meter hurdles, you don't really have to alternate, in my opinion, because as you get tired, you can just drop 2 steps out of your race, and we'll talk more about that. But the goal to the first hurdle is to get there fast and efficiently, and then hit it on your good leg. And if you're not able to hit it on your good leg, then there's a couple of different things you can adjust, and I'll show you that when Christina's doing the workout for you guys. But what I used to do is I would get out hard to the first hurdle, make sure I hit that hurdle with my good leg, because then I went into a 15 step pattern. And what that means is 15 steps, you're gonna keep hitting the same leg on the hurdles, okay? And so down this straight stretch on the 300s, I just try to get out hard to the first hurdle and then settle in and relax to a nice, easy 15 step, okay? And what that allowed me to do is kind of conserve energy while staying with people, or even still running away from people, depending on what their level was, all the way until I get to the turn, okay? And so when you get to the turn, that's when you kind of have to pick it up a little bit, because on the turn it's a little bit harder to keep your speed up. So that's one place where I see people screw up in the 300 hurdles, because their steps are on down the straight stretch, but then as they approach the turn, if you don't give it a little bit more effort, you'll actually take a step out since you're running around a curve, and then you'll come up on your opposite leg, okay? And that's when a lot of people aren't comfortable with their opposite leg, especially running at race pace. And that's where surprises, when you get surprised in the 300 hurdles, that's where mistakes happen. People stutter hard back to their good leg, or they try to take it on their opposite leg and stumble and fall, or things like that. So that's the first tip. Get out hard to the first hurdle, hit it on your good leg, fall into your step pattern, using as little effort as possible, and then as you get into the turn, that's where you pick it up a little bit to make sure you're still hitting your step pattern, whatever that happens to be, 15 steps, 17 steps. You want it to be an odd number so that you keep hitting the same leg, okay? From there, around halfway on the curve or coming off the curve, that's when you're gonna start to be getting a little bit fatigued, and so that's when I started to pick it up, effort-wise, even more, okay? So bump it up a little bit going into the turn, and then coming off the turn is where I used to really start hammering it hard, and that's where my steps would stay on. You turn over a little bit more, maybe you're running a little bit faster, but as long as you do it correctly, you should be able to continue hitting your 15 step or whatever your step pattern is. And so I used to just kick it on off the curve, and that's where I'd basically win the race. And then come down the home stretch, that's when you're going to your arms, and you really got to stay focused. And this is where having a race plan comes into play, because if you do get tired, if you're not in good enough shape to hold your speed, now this is where you're going to want to practice. Okay, when I get tired, am I going to switch to 16 steps, take off just 1 step, or am I gonna take off 2 steps so that I can keep hitting my good leg? And what I used to do is, I think I almost ran the whole race all 15 steps, but whenever I wasn't able to, maybe to the last hurdle, I would switch to 17, which allowed me to just hit my good leg again. So I never even had to alternate in high school, which was really nice. And I didn't even learn how to alternate until college when I actually had to, because the 400 hurdles is a little bit more technical than the 300 hurdles. So having a general race plan, okay? So let's talk a little bit about that. Basically what you wanna do is you wanna figure out, you're gonna have to film your races. So you're gonna have somebody either film your races for you, or in practice you're gonna have to do time trials and have your coach film you, because you're gonna wanna watch those tapes and see what your step pattern is, okay? Because that's how, there's no other way. What that will allow you to do is say, let's take me for example, 15 steps all the way around, and let's say the last 2 hurdles I got tired or whatever, and so I had to switch to maybe 16 or 17, but I wouldn't want to switch to 16 because then that would bring me up on my opposite leg, which I don't want to do, especially when you get tired, okay? And you don't want you don't want surprises in the race. So what I would do is purposely either slow down a tiny bit to the second to last hurdle, or I would just turn over more. And basically what that means is, if you shorten your steps a little bit, then it'll allow you to add an extra step in so that you can hit the hurdle with your good leg, okay? And if you're already paying attention to that and you know that's what you're gonna do, as you come off the 3rd to last hurdle, you're like, okay, now I'm gonna hit my good leg again, but I gotta turn over a little bit because I'm getting a little bit more tired, and I wanna make sure I take 2 steps out instead of just 1, okay? So hopefully that makes sense, and that would allow me to hit 17 on that hurdle, which is my good leg, and then I do the same thing to the last hurdle. And then you have a race plan, okay? Now, the good part about being able to alternate is, and that's why I tell you guys to do all your drills with both legs, if you can alternate like Christina can, then you can kind of dictate the race, and you can mess with other people who are trying to keep their focus on their lane and what they're doing. So if you can alternate, you can take the race out hard and just keep taking it whatever step comes up, and people are gonna start to panic because you're running away from them and they're trying to keep their step pattern, and next thing you know, their step pattern's all screwed up. They're out of the race mentally, they're all messed up. And so you can use that to your advantage in this race, okay? And then, so, you know, having a step pattern, going out nice and relaxed, picking it up a little bit around the turn, and then figuring out what your steps need to be to come home. That's basically how you run the race, okay? And the one last thing, which is basically the key to the race right here, this is the key to the 300 meter hurdles. Hitting the hurdles in stride. That's the secret to the race. So what that means is you're running, say your step pattern is like this, and we come up to a hurdle and you just do this and you go over the hurdle. What we don't want is you're running like this and then get close to a hurdle and you go da, 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 and add like 2 or 3 steps to stutter to the hurdle, because then you're losing time, you're losing momentum, and it's going to take more effort to speed back up off that hurdle. Okay, so that's why you figure out your race pattern so you're not stuttering to hurdles. It'll take seconds off your time, guys. If you can run a smooth race, it's always better than running super hard and stuttering and back and forth and switching legs and all kinds of crazy stuff. Figure out a step pattern, learn how to run efficiently, and you're gonna run way faster times, okay? So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna throw some hurdles out here. Christina is gonna demo a workout for you guys. I might hop in there as well. And we're gonna show you things that you're gonna be wanting to think about in order to do this correctly and in order to run the fastest times that you can possibly run. So stick around. Okay, so we just warmed up. As always, if you don't know how to warm up correctly, I've got a description in the box below, all the warm-ups that we used to do at Penn State. It's a wonderful warm-up. So for the workout, what we're gonna be doing is 3 to 5 reps of 150s with the first 3 hurdles in the 300 meters, okay? And so you wanna hopefully run this with other people. So maybe 2 or 3 people are running this at the same time, because that will simulate a race. The whole point of this is to figure out your step pattern to those first 3 hurdles. It's the most important part of the race. So what you want to be doing is focusing on running at race pace, but it should feel like you're running fast but conserving energy for the latter half of the race, okay? That's the secret to the race. Hitting these hurdles right in stride, figuring out your step pattern, which we're gonna have Christina go over and we'll count her steps and figure out so you guys can see, and using as little effort as possible to stay in the race, okay? So this is a wonderful workout for doing that. It'll teach you how to do it correctly. It'll take seconds off your time if you learn how to do it right. So 3 to 5 150s over the first 3 hurdles. Let's get started. She's doing a standing start. You guys should probably use blocks. And if you have someone to film, definitely film. So. So my first one felt horrible, guys. Obviously I haven't run the 300 hurdles in 15 years or something ridiculous, but when I watched the tape back, so what I was doing was I was stuttering to 17. And so when you stutter, not only do you chop your steps, but then you're also too close, so you jump too high and then you sink off the hurdle. And that's all those three things were happening to me. And so it makes me more tired and I'm using more energy to run slower. So right now I basically have two options. I either pick it up to hit 15, I push into 15, or I relax back to 17 so that I'm actually hitting that 17 smooth. So what I'm gonna actually do is push to 15. So that's how you make adjustments as we go. Christina's steps have been dead on. She's hitting 19 in between. Wish I was riding with them. She's hitting 19 steps in between, so she's coming up on her good leg every single time, so that's perfect. She's out at a good pace. It's something she could hold for the rest of the race, so that's good. That's exactly what we want. So I'm gonna do another round and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so there I pushed to 15, which I was able to do, and it kept me from stuttering, but I was bounding to get over the hurdle, and then I was really having to dive and hang to get over it, and honestly I wouldn't be able to hold that pace. So based on how I am today, and right now, my speed, my strength, whatever, 17 would be my race pace. So if I just relax back a little bit, I'll hit them at 17, I'll keep hitting my good leg, left leg, and I'll feel like a little bit less effort, and that would allow me to finish the whole race based on how I am right now. So Christina was killing it. She's always been really good at taking the hurdles perfectly in stride, so at least you'll see her footage, or you saw her footage, to see how to do it correctly, and you can watch me to see how to not do it correctly. So I hope that teaches you guys something. It's all about hitting those hurdles really nice and smooth with a little bit with little effort and being efficient over the hurdles. So this is a perfect workout for you guys to do. Have somebody film you, run with other people, count your steps, see what your effort level's like, see if you're hitting the hurdles, if you're stuttering to them, if you're bounding to them. Try and figure out a race pattern that lets you just hit them right in stride. It will make worlds of difference in your race, guys. It'll take seconds off your time. You'll love it. So there you go. That's how to run faster in a 300-meter hurdles, brought to you by yours truly. Thank you, Christina, for filming and for showing us how to do it correctly. And if you guys have questions, comments, leave them down below. I'm gonna keep making track videos if that's what people wanna see, especially since we're in track season. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Share this with your friends. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
It's crazy sometimes thinking you can own a piece of the world. It's just flowing.